There are new details coming in on what city might be next, actually, the next target for ICE and Border Patrol in the president's immigration crackdown. Sources now tell CNN that the Trump administration's top border official is expected in New Orleans early next month. Raids in North Carolina have been ongoing. More than 200 people have been arrested in Charlotte, North Carolina over the last 3 days. And it's not just Charlotte. Federal agents have also been seen in Wake and Durham counties. CNN's Diane Gallagher is in Charlotte tracking all of this for us. What is the latest that you're picking up, Diane?
You know, Kate, we're in East Charlotte where many immigrant-owned businesses and immigrants in the city tend to live. And if I am quiet for just a moment, you hear nothing. It is dead out here. The businesses are closed. There are not people walking on the streets. We didn't see kids waiting at the bus stop. And that's kind of how you can describe the city of Charlotte right now. We're on day 5 of this, quote, Operation Charlotte's Web from Customs and Border Protection. And you can't.
And again, why is it so quiet in Charlotte? Over 150,000 or 18% plus of the citizenry of Charlotte, North Carolina are illegal aliens. That's exactly why Tom Homan and Kristi Noem have sent in Border Patrol and ICE. It's just as simple as that. When you have a Democrat mayor that's protecting Charlotte, right, and has control over the judiciary and letting people out on bail and all this other stuff, the truth of the matter is that that's why Trump is there. This is what everybody voted for in the landslide victory that Trump had. And over 54, somewhere between 54 and 80%, depends on the poll, of Americans want illegal aliens out. So Charlotte's Web, which is the name for the operation that ICE and Border Patrol are going on, is what's happening right now in Charlotte. And with over 150,000 illegal aliens in Charlotte, it's no wonder that it's quiet.
Can see the chilling effect across the city. Citizens, undocumented people who all say that they just feel uncomfortable right now being in their city. Now, you mentioned that the operation has sort of moved beyond Charlotte's city limits. We're talking about 2.5, 3 hours north. They're in Wake County and Cary and Durham and Raleigh, but also in the neighboring cities of Charlotte right now. The Huntersville mayor saying there's been activity in her city right now. We are looking at what the effect has been here. The school system saying that, again, on Monday, more than 30,000 students were absent. That is nearly triple the average number of kids. So they're seeing this effect. DHS says so far they feel like they're having quite a fruitful operation here.
Just look at this. 30,000 students were absent from the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system on Monday. Those are not just, American citizens that decided to take the day off and go for a doctor's appointment. There's no doubt that a greater majority, if not much of that, 30,000 students are children of illegal aliens. That's how pervasive this has gotten. This is how bad the situation is, and this is what happens when you put Kamala Harris as the border czar under Sleepy Joe Biden. They opened up the borders, and in this instance with Charlotte, and again, we've had cases just this last week in Florida, we've had cases in Chicago, and soon to be New York City, where DHS and ICE are coordinating efforts to go after specific hardened criminals. And in this instance, the illegal aliens' children are now not attending school. So just think about this. Again, we'll get back to this news clip in a second, but this is so critical for all of us to understand. 30,000 students are putting a burden, are going to school for free, are potentially getting meals and other support systems. They're burdening our education, or at least our public education system, tremendously, to the point where 30,000 students are scared to go to school because their parents potentially are being targeted by border control. That's where we're at. And that's why Donald Trump and Tom Homan and Kristi Noem are doing what they're doing.
Talking about those more than 200 arrests. People in the community, though, say they are going to continue fighting back. At the Mecklenburg County Board of Commissioners last night, they passed a resolution saying they supported their immigrant neighbors here in the city of Charlotte, and people spoke out.
Violence for political purposes is terrorism.
I'll take this gentleman's message and go further with it. Violence from illegal aliens is terrorism, and it's an invasion. So, you know, take this context of this argument. I'll agree with you. But what you're talking about is violence against the citizenry and violence from people that have broken federal laws to be here. And yeah, I would say that's an issue, and I would agree with you fully.
What is happening in the streets of Mecklenburg County is not public safety, it's not security, it's meant to instill fear.
Now, CNN sources have indicated that Gregory Bovino and at least 250 officers will head to New Orleans that first week of December, but the governor of North Carolina says he's not exactly sure when the operation here in Charlotte will end. Josh Stein says that though he has contacted the White House, no one has responded to his reach outs, that he has not been in contact with CBP about the operation and has no idea when they will actually leave.
You know, this is curious. Why do any of the elected officials that were not willing to uphold federal law, why are they expecting to be told by Donald Trump and his administration where they're going next, what they're doing, how long they're going to be there? You have no right. Your right to know was negated when you took no action, where you put illegal aliens and their well-being above that of the citizens. No right. No right. So this expectation of communication, I mean, what do you think is going to happen when Donald Trump and his team tell you that they're going somewhere next? That just means that you're going to embolden the judges, embolden the blue-haired protesters to get out in the streets and impede the progress of the federal agents, which is exactly what they've done in Charlotte. We saw a number of protesters. We saw a number of obstructions where the agents were trying to do their job and get the bad folks out off the streets, potentially deported, and they were impeding their progress to do so, also breaking the law.
Leave the Queen City.
That seems to be a consistent through line with all of these operations, is that absolutely no coordination with local officials, as is traditional.
You don't deserve.
Diane, thank you so much for that reporting.
Or communicated to.
We want justice, you say how? ICE out of Raleigh now! ICE out of Raleigh now!
Immigration officials in North Carolina spotted in more cities, and the people of the state want them out. Protesters taking to the streets as more than 200 arrests are made in Charlotte. Mom and pop shops shutting their doors out of precaution. More than 30,000 students in the Charlotte area kept home from school on Monday. The Mecklenburg County Board of Commissioners passed a resolution last night affirming constitutional protections for immigrant communities. Now, while the move is mostly symbolic, it is aimed at helping calm some.
This is bizarre, and just this is the state of the logic of the liberal right now, where they're making some faux bill that makes no sense, where they're trying to put federal protections in for people who broke the federal law and are here illegally. It just makes no sense. But that's the state of where the Democrat Party is. And incidentally, with the hijacking of the Democrat Party by the progressive liberal left, this makes sense to them. To everybody else in America, it doesn't make any sense. But to them, trying to create a faux bill for constitutional protected rights for people that broke our Constitution and our federal laws to be here, that's where Charlotte and the liberals are right now.
Of the fears.
I feel fear just for being Latina, and I asked one of them why they had deceived us. They had told us they were going to look for criminals, but they are not looking for criminals. They are only following the profile we have, that we are Latinos, Hispanics. They are pursuing us. We are like at war in the city.
I want to take this to the group chat for a couple of reasons. One, Chuck, the recent Supreme Court ruling says that agents are allowed to question people based on how they look, the language they speak. Kavanaugh saying, look, it's typically brief. Those individuals go free, right, after they make it clear that they're U.S. citizens. How is this playing out in reality to you when you see someone with a quote like that, or just what you're seeing in these cities?
The terror is real, and we were just talking about Virginia and New Jersey, and I bring it back there and we'll connect it because we knocked on 100,000 Latino doors in Passaic, New Jersey. You saw the big swing in that vote from Trump back to Mikey Sherrill. And when we were talking to Latinos at the door, they were angry that the process hasn't come down like Trump had talked about. But at the center of everything was this anxiety in an immigrant community about these ICE agents that are masked, that are there, that are picking up law-abiding citizens, their neighbors, their friends. They were like, sure, we were all about getting bad people out of our country, deport all the criminals, but not our neighbors. Didn't you see in North Carolina, the fastest growing state in the country of Latino population over the last 25 years? And you also look at this state where it's probably got the most vulnerable Senate race coming up in the next midterm elections. That's less than a year from now.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about it.
You know, and incidentally, again, they're making a sweeping argument that there were just innocent illegal immigrants kind of picked up. These have been very targeted arrests, and specifically going after MS-13 gang members, predators that are going after our children, and some of the trafficking issues. They've had a number of people with aggravated assaults, as well as murderers that have been taken into possession. So the argument that this is just the everyday illegal immigrant is not the case. That said, the everyday illegal immigrant that broke federal law has already been told by the Trump administration, you should probably go back to your home country, and we'll actually give you $1,000 and a free flight to do so. So the friendly tip of what you should be doing if you came here illegally has already been communicated loud and clear by Trump and his group, right? Tom Homan, I know, has mentioned this. I know Kristi Noem has also mentioned this. So again, putting the illegal aliens' needs and potential right to be here, which doesn't make any sense, ahead of that of your tax-paying citizenry, that's where Charlotte is right now. That's what CNN and this guy in the cowboy hat are all trying to debate. And it makes no sense. No sense. Because at this point, the landslide victory that Donald Trump had sent the mandate to Washington, D.C., that the American people are done with open borders and it's time to make America safe again. So let me know what you think. Do you agree with the America First policy and the Trump administration with what they're doing in targeting, very specifically, the illegal alien activity, in this case, in Charlotte? Also, let me know in the comments, what do you think? Where did all of these students go on Monday? And why would, why would you not go to school on a Monday when there's an ICE operation targeting illegal aliens? It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So make it make sense to me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Incidentally, if you like stories like this with the commentary, join us. Subscribe to our channel here at America First Alerts. We'd love to have you join the movement and get additional stories just like this.